What's going on, everybody? Still Jedi here, and today I wanted to give you guys my latest installment of my Pittsburgh Steelers 2018 Way Too Early NFL Mock Draft. I realize it is only January 10th, and it's the week of the Jaguars game. If you want to know what my opinion on that is, go ahead and check out my channel. It was the most recent video that I posted before this one. But without further ado, let's get right into the mock that I'm going to give you guys. And I'll give a short explanation. For a lot of these picks, if it's somebody who I've talked about before, I'm not really going to do a whole lot with them. Not going to explain a whole lot with them, but this is a little different from mocks that you've seen in the past from me. There's a lot of same players, but in different rounds. So without further ado, with the 32nd pick, yes, the 32nd pick, I do believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I have my Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Mason Rudolph, the quarterback at Oklahoma State. Listen, Ben just came out today and said that he doesn't believe that Sunday is his last game at Heinz Field. That doesn't mean that he's going to last more than another year with Pittsburgh. And this is actually going to be working in our favor because I believe that if we bring in a guy like Mason Rudolph and sit him behind Ben for a year, yeah, he won't play his rookie year. He would be able to soak everything up that Ben has to offer. I think Mason Rudolph is the closest we'll get to Ben, as of Ben right now. And you guys know how much I like Mason Rudolph. I'm not going to prolong that. That's our first round pick. The reason why I have him to us, we don't even trade up, which I've talked about a couple of times, is because of the fact that there are going to be at least 5 or 6 quarterbacks hitting the free agency market this year in the offseason. And there's teams like the Arizona Cardinals, there's teams like the Denver Broncos, potentially even the Jets, the Browns, whoever, maybe even the Giants, that might be looking at a veteran quarterback. So they're going to drop. The quarterbacks are going to drop this year because of how many free agent quarterbacks there are. So Mason Rudolph is being considered a late first, early second by a lot of people. And some people don't even have him in the first 2 rounds, which I think is ludicrous. But I'm picking him here. This is all my personal opinion. You guys can have yours. But this is my opinion, okay? So round 2 is a guy who I've had in the 5th round for us a lot of times. But he's been getting a lot more hype as of late. And I've never stopped liking him as a prospect. I was just trying to put different guys out there. Second round, I have Dallas Goedert, the tight end out of South Dakota State University. Listen, a lot of people are comparing him to the next Gronk. If he's anywhere close to Gronk, I'd want him on my football team. And Vance McDonald is okay, but he's always hurt. Very similar to Ladarius Green. That was the issue with Ladarius Green. He was an incredible tight end, but he was always hurt. And Jesse James is a good tight end, but he's no more than a number 2 blocking / 5-10 yard reception tight end to move the chains. So we need somebody who could stretch the middle of the field, and that's Dallas Goedert. If you guys have any questions, feel free, comment them down below. Hit me up on my Twitter at Steel_Jedi. I'm more than happy to talk to you guys about this mock because I know some people are going to disagree with me. Okay, round 3, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Armani Watts, the free safety out of Texas A&M. There is a very deep class of safeties in this year's draft class, and a lot of them are supposed to be 2nd to 3rd round guys. Guys like Marcus Allen, guys like Armani Watts, guys like Deshaun Elliott. I just think with Watts being there in round 3, I think it's stupid if we don't pick him up. He comes in, immediately replaces Mike Mitchell, an overpaid Mike Mitchell. And you finally have somebody who's a long-term running mate to Sean Davis right next to him. So Armani Watts, 3rd round. And now, this is going to surprise a lot of people. I have us getting a 4th round pick this year. Now, you might be asking, how are we getting a 4th round pick? Well, let me explain. When we got rid of Timmons this offseason. We're supposed to get a compensatory pick from the Miami Dolphins, and it's all based on his production, his level of play this season. I believe it's earned us a 4th-round pick. So with this is another guy that's going to drop because there's a deep wide receiver class. Anthony Miller, the wide receiver out of Memphis. You guys know why I want him. We finally can get rid of Eli Rogers, who's been mediocre for us this year, and partially due to the fact that Juju has been able to take his spot and really play very, very well for us. So we're getting rid of Eli Rogers. We're getting rid of Landry Jones. We're getting rid of Mike Mitchell. We're bringing in Youngblood. So Amani Watts. We're bringing in Anthony Miller. So with the 5th round coming into our sights, the first pick in the 5th round is going to be Jerome Baker. He's an inside linebacker out of Ohio State. I've seen him for his entire career at Ohio State. To me, he kind of reminds me of a Ryan Shazier-esque type inside linebacker. He models his game after him. He's 6'1", 225. Okay, you see his stats here. Okay, this kid is a playmaker. He's one of those guys that he might not have the top end strength or the big frame, but the kid produces, and he's producing in a conference that a lot of people would not be able to play in. Okay, because it is too physical. The elements get to them. I mean, he's just an incredible inside linebacker. So first pick in the 5th round is Jerome Baker, inside linebacker out of Ohio State. I have us picking in the 5th round because I am assuming Ryan Shazier is going to come back at some point. I'm hopeful for it. Second pick in the 5th round, because we don't have 3, we have 1 in the 4th because of the Timmons pick. Second pick in the 5th round is Donovan Wilson. You guys know how much I liked him. I had him as a 1st-round talent before he got injured, and he couldn't play it all this season, so he's going to drop. Free safety / nickel corner, dime corner, whatever you want to call him. Very similar to the safety version of a Cameron Sutton. So he's going to drop to 5. We have no picks in the 6th round, and we have 2 in the 7th. The first pick in the 7th round is going to be a guy who's going to drop that people think might rise, but because of the college he went to and because of the fact that he might not have a great pro day, he's going to drop. Darius Phillips, corner / returner. We would be using him more as a returner than a corner, but he's great corner depth for a nickel or dime position with his height. You know why I like him if you've watched a lot of my mocks before. And then finally, in the 7th round, second pick in the 7th round, I have us picking a guy by the name of Cody O'Connell, who's a 6'8" offensive guard from Washington State. He really kept Luke Falk upright the past couple of seasons, and he's a guy who has an insane upside, and a guy who we're not going to be able to get a ton of great talent at the offensive line position late in the draft, but history has shown that we have done well, very, very well with late round or undrafted offensive linemen. You look at guys like Kelvin Beachum. You look at guys like Chris Hubbard, who's come in and been able to make an impact. B.J. Finney, who's been able to come in and make an impact. Alejandro Villanueva, who we actually didn't draft, but we got as a tight end that we moved to offensive tackle, and is now the starting left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we've done well with late round and free agent offensive linemen, and this could be a position we look at in free agency. Okay, so there's a lot that can happen in this draft. Ben could say he's coming back for 2-3 more years, and that might drastically change this draft. I still think we need to go after quarterback round 1, because this is probably the best quarterback class that I've seen since the 2004 draft. So we need to get the guy that we want as our future. And a lot of people are comparing Rudolph to Bryce Petty. I don't see it. I think Mason Rudolph is 10 times more talented than Bryce Petty was coming out of Baylor. And unfortunately, Bryce Petty was put in a situation where he didn't have a great team to surround him. Okay, you bring in a guy like Mason Rudolph to Pittsburgh. He has all the weapons in the world. Any quarterback coming into this year's draft would be salivating on being able to play on the Pittsburgh Steelers with the weapons we have, the young guys we have. We have one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league in Le'Veon Bell, the best wide receiver in the league in Antonio Brown, a young emerging star who would be able to get a great rapport with this rookie quarterback in Juju Smith-Schuster, who you guys know how much I like him, even though I didn't like him at the beginning of the draft. It's not that I didn't like him, it's just I didn't see where we would put him. And then you have Martavis Bryant, who I hope and I'm assuming will come back, considering he has had more success towards the second half of the season. So that might kind of convince him to stay. And with a young quarterback, he might want to stay to be able to be a part of something special with a young guy. We have a top 3 offensive line in the league. That's not going to change. So bringing in a guy like Mason Rudolph would be perfect this year. And I think personally he'd drop to 32. So that's my mock, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the description. Like I said, go ahead, follow me on Twitter at Steel_Jedi. I do my best to try and follow everyone back. And I will actually be coming out with a full first round mock draft with Steel Cipher this weekend. Hopefully we're going to be able to record it and get it up by Tuesday, because that's when I go back to school. But let me know what you guys think of these mock drafts. This one specifically, do you like the talking or do you like the highlights? I can always do the highlights, but I thought I might as well go back to this and see what people thought. So let me know what you guys think down in the description box below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the post bell for post notifications, and may the steel be with you.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?